Okay, so I used to work nights at a hotel, and it gave me a lot of time to work on schoolwork and homework, and also when I had the chance, I could write music. And so I needed to have something that I could work with my laptop, which I had a different laptop back then, but something that I could easily enter notes into Finale, because I did a lot of work with Finale, and also later on I did a lot of work in DAWs like GarageBand and Traction and Logic Pro. Well, I needed something that was going to be portable, that I could easily carry with me in my backpack, but yet still function the way it needs to. And so I discovered this. This is an M-Audio Oxygen 8, and it's an amazing little piece of gear. It's full-size keys, had mod wheel, pitch wheel, had programmable buttons and rotary knobs, octave buttons. It was really good. It really functioned the way it was supposed to. And the cool thing was it only required one USB connection. This carried both power and MIDI data. Okay, that was great. About 3 or 4 years after owning it, suddenly it no longer would carry the MIDI data. It was just the power with this cable. So I had to buy a separate thing, which is a MIDI to USB audio or interface. So you plug this into the MIDI inputs in here, then plug this part of it into your computer. It worked, and it worked fine. Fast forward to Thanksgiving of this last year. One of my hobbies, or my goals every year, it's a kind of a tradition I've started, is to write a new piece of music every Thanksgiving. We tend to go over to my in-laws, and we tend to spend the whole day there. And so I tend to try to just sneak away and write some music. So this was nice, but about halfway into writing this piece of music this last year, it just bombed out on me. It stopped working. It didn't work anymore, and I was really frustrated. So I thought, well, this thing's really old. I should probably replace it with a newer version of this. So I looked up online, and they still have them, but they're different now, and they're a little more expensive than they were before. And so I thought, yeah, I don't really want to. Plus, even though this is pretty small, by today's standards, it's still pretty thick. It's thick and clunky, and it didn't really fit in my bag that I had really well. So I needed to replace it. So I did. I replaced it with this. This is made from a company called CME, and it's called an Xkey. And it's basically an aluminum, regular flat keyboard-sized keyboard that was much thinner and can function roughly the same way. It still has 2 octaves, and the keys, although they look like they won't be very playable, they're very playable. It still has a pedal key or a button. But it also has pitch bend. Well, this doesn't work on the piano, but they have octave buttons, which is very nice. So you can when you're doing stuff. But instead of having the pitch wheel and the mod wheel, it has buttons for that. And I'll change the sound so we can show you what that sounds like. Let's do the cellos. So here's. So it's really soft, as you can tell, but this does have a mod wheel. Now, the problem with having buttons instead of the actual wheels is that most of the orchestral sample libraries I use the mod wheel as your volume. So in order to have a sustainable mod wheel, you have to push, or volume, you have to push down all the way. Okay, but it is touch sensitive, so it can go down, but you can't hold it there for very long. You have to kind of hold your finger there in place. It's not very practical. For working with synthesizers and stuff like that, this is fine because you don't ever tend to usually have the mod wheel up all the time anyway. But it also does pitch bend. They too are touch sensitive. Okay. The idea is everything is transmitted through this one cable. It's power and also MIDI data, which is very nice. But still, there was that not having an actual dedicated mod wheel almost was a deal breaker for this. I didn't want to buy a separate USB module that did it. You can buy kits, but they're kind of expensive, and it's not really what I want. It's a kind of do-it-yourself thing. And so I thought, well, you know what? I always have my phone with me. I wonder if they happen to make an app that deals with this kind of thing. And it turns out they do. This is an app. Well, you have to have two apps in order to make this work. One is called Music.io, and what it says is this connects with your computer and allows it to receive and transmit MIDI data over your Lightning connection or USB connection or whatever you have for a phone. And then the other one is called Wheel, and it really is just a mod wheel. It uses the XY axis, and you can do both. You can do both mod wheel and pitch data, but if you have the lock on the mod button depressed, then you can control the mod wheel data and leave it there, and it stays there. So you can plays data, or let you play chords and other kind of stuff while keeping the volume stable. Of course, you can always go back in and edit all this stuff as you're recording in the DAW. But the idea here is now I have something that's already with me all the time anyway, and I can use it to control the mod wheel, and I'm very happy. So now this works the way it's supposed to. I have a very, very good functioning, portable setup for music production on the go. I'm very happy with it. It's a great replacement for my Oxygen 8. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.